Right from when Jamie was small, we've had a vision for her that she would have to live independent of us, and we didn't want to have to rely on her siblings to provide that support. If they want to, that would be great, but that's not what we see as being the end goal. So as part of that, we've always made sure that she's been a part of her community. So even on the coldest, wettest, rainiest days you can imagine, we'd get her out of the car to go pick up her brother outside the classroom, so that people were always seeing her in our community, getting used to her being around. And she's very friendly, so she'd say hi to everybody and she gets hi back. And then when she started school, it wasn't a problem at all because everybody already knew her. So that's been really good. And so every decision we make about her care and her experiences has that end goal in mind. We had a parent-teacher interview, and her teacher said that Jamie wanted to learn ballet, and I was like, it's another thing to add to the list of what we have to do after school and things. So I dutifully emailed ballet schools to see if anyone would be interested in having a kid like Jamie. We had one reply, so I started setting that up. It did get a bit hard, and I stopped emailing for a while, and then Bridget from Halberg rang and said, do you want to be involved with the adaptive sports program again this year? So I said, yes, sure, Jamie would like to do ballet. And so our student finished setting that up, and Jamie loves it. She goes every week, and we use individualised funding to pay for an assistant in class for her, who's one of the older ballet students. And we also use it, I drop Jamie off with another girl and she gets Jamie into her ballet gear and just generally supervises while she's at ballet. So it's been really good.
We've been using a service provider for about a year, and it was good. We had somebody come regularly and my housework was done once a week, but I felt that I wasn't seeing Jamie as much in the mornings because I had somebody coming, I think it was 5 mornings a week, which is quite a lot. So we gave that up for a while. I felt like I didn't want it anymore, and then I heard about individualised funding, so I learnt some more about that and spent about a year processing the idea before I spoke to Mel and got that all set up. We went straight to student job search because I didn't want to use family members since I was the employer. That could have gotten uncomfortable, and there wasn't anybody that could do it regularly anyway. We had 4 applications and I hired 3 of them, and it's just fantastic. We can do so much more as a family now. We can access our community heaps better. We have somebody accompany us to school fairs and the swimming pool and just any events that happen in, like the Santa Parade was a good example. Jamie's not a huge fan of parades, but we wanted to take her just in case it was different last year. And it turned out that it wasn't any different last year, so as soon as the parade started and she started freaking out, we just had our person take her off to the museum, or the rest of us were able to stay and not ruin the day for the rest of the kids, which is really nice.
It gives us control over our lives. It means that we can choose who to employ, who we have in our house, who Jamie has to interact with. It brings back that feeling of control in our lives that you lose in the hospital system. And we don't have somebody telling us who we need to have in our house and sending over whoever they want. We can choose all that, and if we don't like them, then we don't have to employ them.
And how do you share your dreams with them? Or if you...
I don't know that I do share. I certainly don't do it in an outright manner. I think the way that we interact with our kids, Jamie's very much just, a kid in our family, and I talk to her very similarly to the rest of them. If she's annoying the other kids, I'll tell her off, and I don't know. I guess it's an attitude thing. I have really high expectations for all of my children, and it's also quite a fun place to be, I think, our home. People say they have fun at our house, so it must be.
So we employ students because Jamie loves young people and they're vibrant and they bring enthusiasm to our family. The other kids all love who we employ. They crowd around, and luckily our students so far have been really good at including them in the play and helping to facilitate play between Jamie and the other kids, which is really nice as well. And we sometimes have play dates for Jamie, and so kids come over and I organise somebody to come at the same time so that they can sit and help facilitate that play as well. so that I don't have to.
Yeah, I've been to a few meetings where IF has been discussed, and the feeling I get is that it's much easier for those of us with younger families to transition onto IF. We're not so scared of stepping outside of the system we're already in because we haven't been in it that long. We're really interested in new therapies and services, and we've got big ideas for our little kids. And it feels like some of those older parents who have been in the system for 20 years, plus some of them, just, they're used to what they're doing, they've accepted that as the status quo, and they find it very difficult to step outside of that.
So tell me what you want for Jamie.
I want Jamie to live a life that she's happy to be living. I want her to be a part of her community. I want her to be able to communicate with those around her. I want her to choose who she lives with. I want her to choose how she's going to fill her days. I want her to have enough money that she can do that and the support that she needs to do that. And I want to, go visit her at her house and, have her invite us around for dinner and, normal stuff. Just be a normal part of her community.